There have been 12 official days of protest and lots of unofficial days of protest as well. All of them, pretty much, have been marked by serious disturbances, up to and including rioting. I'm on Place de la Bastille in central Paris. This is where the original French Revolution of 1789 broke out, and I've been watching all kinds of violence this afternoon, fighting with the police, masses of tear gas being used, water cannon on standby, baton charges by the forces of law and order. It really has got very ugly, and it's going on and on. As you say, people are very well aware that the Constitutional Court is making a decision as to whether Emmanuel Macron acted legally in pushing through this legislation a month ago. Potentially, they could reverse the legislation and say that it didn't fit in with the Fifth Republic Constitution. That's very unlikely, I have to say. The feeling is that the 9 judges will consider that he was acting completely lawfully. But again, as you can perhaps get an atmosphere of in this square tonight, there's opposition everywhere to what Emmanuel Macron is doing. The opinion polls show that about 70% of the country is against the new legislation. The sharp end of the social movement that is opposing him is taking to the streets and fighting the police. There have been some awful scenes of disorder this afternoon, Michel. I've been watching lots of tear gas being let off. I've seen gangs at the radical end of this social movement smashing up property and indeed threatening the police. Perhaps the most dramatic thing I saw this afternoon was President Emmanuel Macron's favourite Paris restaurant, La Rotonde. It's the place where he celebrated his 2017 election victory, and he's been back there numerous times since. It was attacked by a mob this afternoon, and they set fire to much of it. The fire engines turned up, they managed to put it out, but of course the symbolism was absolutely massive, especially as Emmanuel Macron is not in Paris at the moment. He's off in China, leaving his Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne and his other ministers to deal with this social movement. It's the 11th day of protests since Emmanuel Macron brought in this measure to lift the retirement age from 62 to 64 without a parliamentary vote. That's the bit that's really annoyed people. They're also massively annoyed that they have to work for longer, and opinion polls show that up to 80% of the country is against this measure. It almost seems unbelievable that I'm currently about 5 minutes walk from the Élysée Palace itself, the home of Emmanuel Macron himself. It's a terrible situation. There are all kinds of people trying to make their own kind of demonstrations, and it's all because exactly a week ago tonight, Emmanuel Macron introduced this legislation which was passed without parliamentary approval. He pushed it through without any kind of agreement from anybody else, and what the kind of scenes we're seeing tonight and characters like that acting like that is all because they're so angry, and they feel that they can persuade Emmanuel Macron to change his mind about this legislation. It almost seems square in Paris. I've already seen a bit of aggression from the crowd there. It's not an authorised gathering. There's already several thousand people turning up, and of course there's lots of riot police as well, paramilitaries who have water cannon, who have tear gas, and are quite prepared to use baton charges, which is exactly what happened in exactly the same spot last night. And I expect as the night lingers on and more people turn up, we're going to see some pretty rough scenes later on. This is a very bad image for the French Republic.
the square is the Place de la Concorde, is the major square right next to the French Parliament. It's the French Parliament that Emmanuel Macron ignored yesterday to bring in this very unpopular legislation pushing up the retirement age from 62 to 64, and it's because of this geographical position that people certainly in Paris are choosing to congregate. Paramilitaries out in force. It's the same in all major cities and towns across France tonight. There's still a huge amount of discontent.